Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA. It was 415. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. Wasn't exactly the barn burner that we were looking for. The night wasn't as exciting as I was hoping for, but they ended early in the day, so not all bad. All right. If you guys like this kind of thing where we break down fights, we're going to break down every single one of them. We're going to talk about all the fights on the card. Subscribe to the channel. That way, the next video is coming out. I do this every single week. Let's get started. Like I said at the top of this, wasn't the most exciting fight. Here's the thing. Quick takeaway from this one. Whether you like this take or not, it seems like Umar Magomedov, if he can't run through someone, just wants a point fight. Right? It's a smart technique. Right? I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying that it's not the most entertaining thing to watch. You can see it. He goes for these takedowns, right? They're exchanging low kicks early. Nurmagomedov gets on a single leg. It's standing, and then he gets it down. Like immediately, Sandhagen gets right back up and fights out of it. And then you can see on Nurmagomedov's face and his body language, he instantly goes into point fighting mode. He's just point fighting, waiting for another opportunity to get a takedown, and that's it. He's not looking for a finish at any point in this entire fight, and that's why it was kind of a slog to get through. You know, and it takes two to tango. You can say that, sometimes three if you're lucky. But Sandhagen, you know, he wasn't really putting his foot on the gas either. He wasn't putting himself out there, possibly because of the threat of the takedown, but he defended him so well, you figured he would have gone for it more. Umar was trying the jab and trip, really wants to get him down there, staying on the outside. Sandhagen was staying in his face, and, you know, Nurmagomedov was just trying to catch the low kicks to get an easy takedown. The low kicks from Sandhagen are adding up, and Umar tender on it already. I'm surprised that he didn't continue this harder. He should have just kept going for that as the fight went on. It seemed like his best attack, most consistently without a big risk. And then Umar ends the round with a takedown. Nothing but control, but looking at the damage, it's pretty damn close. You look at the striking numbers here, 17-15 in favor of Sandhagen. Did he do that much more damage than Nurmagomedov? Probably not. If anything, I'd say, you know, they're probably, I'd put it even, right? Maybe Umar did slightly more, but that doesn't matter, because if it's close enough like that, you just go to control time, and it went to Nurmagomedov, but barely. Not a blowout round, not the most exciting, not a lot going on. Sandhagen feeding him the hips, and Umar gets the standing back. Again, he gets to the standing back position. Normally, someone like him on your back, that's a wrap. That's the end of it. But Sandhagen fights out of it, gets out of that. And again, you can see it. Nurmagomedov goes like, okay, point fighting time. You know, Umar's variation is keeping him out in front, even if he doesn't land his flush. He's not landing with hard strikes. Umar goes to the back and drags him down into the truck. Doesn't use the truck very well. It didn't look like he was going for the twister or anything like that. He just wants to do truck to the back take. Fine technique. Again, not that exciting, but hey, it is what it is. Sandhagen able to get out again with no damage, and Umar's control that round gives him the win. 24-16 for striking numbers in favor of Nurmagomedov, and like again, 55 seconds of control time. It's really what it came down to. Third round, Sandhagen going after both legs. Umar still throwing hooks and kicks aplenty. Again, Umar wants a takedown, just not getting it, right? And because he's not getting it, he just sticks to point fighting. I feel like Sandhagen needs to put more out there, even though he won't. Umar won't engage until Sandhagen throws. So Umar sticks to the counter striking and immediately throws two back or one back of the exact same thing that Sandhagen does, making sure that, like, in a point fight, he's staying even on point. So if you throw a jab at me, I'm going to throw one back at you, right? You throw a right hand, I throw a right hand, right? You throw a leg kick, I throw a leg kick. And then every so often, I'll throw two back at you or three back at you. Even if I only land once in a while, I'm staying even on points or getting slightly ahead. And then the fact that I'm throwing more punches out there even differentiates it and puts me ahead of you. And again, without throwing to finish or looking to set up or working towards a finish in a sequence or finding openings, it gets really sparring session-like, and that's what we had. It looked like a glorified sparring session. Same thing over and over again. Sandhagen, so I had him up 30-27. Looking at the striking numbers here, 17-12. Again, just barely staying ahead. Fourth round here, Umar is always countering as he backs up. Same thing over and over again. Sandhagen moves in, throws the lead hook, gets a hook back at him. it's again the same thing where he gets to the back and then and then he immediately goes for a takedown right at the end of the round to try and steal it as if it's 2009 again. He was already up. He had landed more strikes anyway, 30-20 in this fourth round. But his corner's calling a takedown to end the round. Like, again, this is not 2009. The fact that is still a thing is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe that strategy. It shouldn't work. In fact, it's to the point now where I consider that almost flopping. You know how they flop in the NBA? Like, was there a foul? Yeah. But because you flung yourself further away, now you're going to get penalized for it. Like, if you go for a takedown at the end of the round with like 3 seconds left just to get it down on the ground, I would almost count that against him, be like, oh, so he clearly doesn't want to finish the fight. You know what I mean? Are you going to finish the fight with a takedown with 10 seconds left? Is it possible? Technically, I think so, because you would have enough time to throw like a submission in, possibly. Or the act of slamming them could finish the fight technically. But usually when you watch for those things, it's an attempt to sway the judges in your favor by getting a last-second takedown and showing that, oh, look at me, I was on top at the end of the round, a la Joe Rogan's biggest fight metric of who was on top when the referee separated him. That guy must have won the fight. Dumbest thing ever. Anyway, again, same shit with him getting to the back of the takedown, not able to do anything with it. 50-45. Yeah, honestly, Nurmagomedov's really good. Obviously, he's a really difficult puzzle to solve. I can see why Sandhagen had issues with him. Does he deserve a title shot after this win? Absolutely. Is he going to get one? I don't think so. Nobody else wants to fight him. Merab Dvalishvili has the standing title shot. Like that, it's his shot, right? Piotr Jan, I still think deserves a go at it. And then Deiveson Figueiredo with a win this weekend over Marlon Vera. I think he has a better argument than Nurmagomedov does. Not a better argument, an equal argument, right? Because Nurmagomedov hasn't fought anybody else in the top 10. This is the first time, right? And he gets a win over number 2, so that's a big deal. But in this kind of performance, like, was it a blowout win? No. Did he win every round? Yes. So, it's one of those things where, does he deserve a title shot? Absolutely. But so do other people. And he's just the latest person to deserve a title shot. So, it's hard to say that he's going to get one next. And then you put out performances like this, which, let's be honest, aren't the most exciting, especially when you get up in the upper echelon of talent in the division, and it shows that, like, oh, well, now you're just going to become a point fighter. I'd be more hesitant to pony up $80 to watch you in a main event or, a co-main event. All right. Shara Magomedov versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. I don't like this ref that does this one. Daniel Movahedi screwed up last week. Magomedov going with kicks low to the body. Oleksiejczuk going with the jab, trying to walk him down. Big left hand finds its way through for Magomedov, and Magomedov slips, I think. It could have been a knockdown. Hard to tell. Oleksiejczuk's really overswinging with that left hand, but Magomedov often doesn't move out of the way when it goes to the body, so he is catching the body quite a bit. If you look at the amount of body shots, 17... Oh, those are kicks. 17 kicks to the body for Magomedov in the first round. 9 kicks to the or 9 punches to the body for Oleksiejczuk, and those are hard hooks. Magomedov would just landed so many more kicks that Oleksiejczuk landing those hands, and it's just so far out. Like he can land from so far away. With the shotgun approach to the kicks, he wins his first round 40-35 on the striking numbers. Even though Magomedov backed up the whole time, that's his round. Oleksiejczuk's really backing him down, trying to crowd him from kicking. Oleksiejczuk is landing so many of those left hooks to the body. And then he goes to lift him up, and Magomedov grabs the fence to stop the lift and avoids the takedown. Was he going to get taken down? You don't know. Honestly, it's really hard to tell when you stop the momentum of that lift immediately by grabbing the fence. That's a big deal. Nobody noticed it. Nobody talked about it, but it did happen. You can go back and watch it for yourself. Magomedov just spamming shots to the as he backs up, and Oleksiejczuk just can't get through him, can't get in a range. Oleksiejczuk gets him down, and Magomedov grip has to be moved from the fence yet again. He grabbed the fence again. 20-18 for Magomedov. This looks like the same as the last two rounds. This last round looks almost identical, only with less activity. Oleksiejczuk finally gets a takedown, but does nothing with it. Being stifled by two fence grabs before then really put a damper on his control time. Win for Magomedov. I think all three judges had it 30-27. Yeah. No controversy there. All right. Here's an interesting one. Marlon Vera versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Oh boy. Man, those slow starts from Vera really hurt him, huh? Both land leg kicks as Vera lands harder on the onset, and Vera also using that front side kick to like switch and stomp the knee. It's kind of cool looking the way he did it a couple times, and then didn't throw it the rest of the fight. Figgy going body right hands and then take down. Not much control with it, but he did get him down. Vera with the classic wait too long, then goes flying knee and taken down to end the round. So this is Figueiredo's round. Outlanding him 10-8. Not a whole lot of damage either way, and more control time for Figueiredo. Classic way to beat Vera. Just slightly outland him, get some control time, and that's the end of it. Vera's waiting too much like he usually does, needs to land flush a couple times. The fact this is a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight, can't afford to keep giving away rounds like this. Vera digging a big left hook as they crash into each other. When Figgy goes forward, he can land, and the rest of the fight is just him circling. Right, so he's on the outside, circling away, not engaging, comes in, engages a couple times, and then Vera's, too slow to respond sometimes. Slower paced fight without many clean shots favors the guy who throws more, and Vera just doesn't do that for the most part. This round, he started to pick it up as the round went on, and he did outland him 18-14. This was Vera's round. It was close, but he outlanded him. Last round, Figgy goes takedown right away, getting stuck in a guillotine, then reattacks and takes some elbows. Vera finding his range now. Figgy not circling as much, wanting to throw more himself and get in range for the takedown. Vera finding the mark with the big left hand to the body and then a straight that rocks Figgy. Then Figgy comes right back with a right hand of his own and Vera backs up. They're both landing really hard, with Vera landing way better to the body with knees and hooks. The problem was that overall this damage could be really close with 60 seconds left, but Figgy landed, with Figueiredo landing that knockdown, it puts him up, and just enough. Figgy avoiding the big shots going down the stretch, so he'll probably take this one. He got outlanded here, 26-21. If you go with cumulative damage, who do you think did more? I think Vera did more cumulative damage, but if you look at the rule set or the judging criteria, Figueiredo did more immediate damage with that one punch that put Vera down, and the overall damage was close enough that puts him over the top. Now, you can disagree with that and give that last round to Vera, but let's see what the judges say. Howard Hughes gave all 3 rounds to Figueiredo. Okay, so Vera wasn't winning that fight regardless. And Ben Cartledge versus Hadi Muhammad Ali both gave that second round to Vera, but that's it. Okay, I mean, that's how I saw it, so I get it. I don't think that was a bad call. Let's talk about a fight that could have been really sad, but ended up being fine. And the after speech was weird. Tony Ferguson taking on Michael Chiesa. Not a whole lot of stats to look at here. Ferguson he doesn't do the knee slide thing anymore. Maybe they just didn't show it on the broadcast, but there's a good compilation or a sad compilation of Ferguson doing the wrestling knee slide left to right and slowly getting worse and worse at it as he gets older, clearly becoming less mobile. It's very hard to watch a guy age. I mentioned it a long time ago. This is years ago I mentioned this, and then finally somebody put a compilation together. Chiesa is backing up, skirting the outside of the cage. Neither guy is landing clean, with Ferguson trying some of the twos, and then Chiesa trying the jab hook with some low hooks. It's really just going to be, when does this fight get to the ground? So Chiesa gets on the body lock, gets the back and locks up a body triangle, goes rear naked choke. Ferguson fights it off, and then Chiesa readjusts and gets the tap. It's a really good win, and as far as like how you could lose, it was a comfortable loss for Tony Ferguson. It's a way to watch him lose in relative peace, right? Doesn't take a ton of damage, just got caught in a rear naked choke. This was a good fight for him, and Ferguson's silent when asked if this was his last fight, and then he starts speaking, and he says he doesn't want to retire, but he says he doesn't want to fight anywhere else. He only wants to fight in the UFC, so he wants to go talk to his family and his friends and whatever. Probably not his friends. So he put one glove down and then kept one glove just in case. So kind of a retirement, but then immediately afterwards says I'm not retiring, but I don't want to fight anywhere else. So he might be retired. Mackenzie Dern taking on Loopy Godinez. Dern looking better as of late. I think she has made improvements, and then every so often, she defaults back to her sloppy striking, and she just looks like shit again. And Loopy Godinez wasn't able to push her to do that. And in this fight, Dern took advantage. So Dern was using that jab, but lifting her head up when she does. She's throwing a lot out there early, but it's working. Godinez is not punishing her. Godinez is waiting to counter when Dern goes, but she's also walking her down and trying to take the lead. It's just she wasn't landing enough. Dern pulls guard, nothing doing there. Goes takedown again, takes a knee after Godinez defends. Godinez busting her nose with straight rights. Dern with the head toss into the mount, can't get anything, then rolls armbar with 50 seconds left. Can't get that, but does end the round, outstriking her 25-15. If you look at control time, it's not as much of a factor here, but there was a little, like that did happen. I would put Dern on the positive end of that. And clearly winning this round. Second round, Dern still sloppy with the striking, but the activity is working. She tries to jump full guard on the fence. Godinez is waiting a lot now, not wanting to put stuff out there, doesn't want to get caught up in the clinch because she knows she's going for a ride. Godinez with the takedown and the standing arm triangle with 30 seconds left. Weird round. I think the better, more damaging shots could have come from Godinez, but it was so damn close. I went Dern. It was 24-24 for striking number, so it was dead even. The control time at the very end there, Godinez, if you did that, I don't think that submission attempt was very close at the end if you look at it. If you did, I could see you giving it to Godinez. I don't know if she landed overall more damage. It's pretty damn close. Okay? If you gave it to Godinez, I understand. Last round, Godinez finding the hook as she lunges in and blitzes her down. Let's see here. Dern with the great double leg attempt and right into side control, going for the guillotines. Godinez stands her way back up somehow. She's just not finding the mark enough as she's walking forward, finally finding the jab consistently with 1 minute and 30 seconds left and able to get the left hook to land. And she outlanded her in this round. Godinez just, she could get this last round 28-23 and, give it to her that round, but she still loses this 29-28. Looking at all three judges here. Let's see. Hadi Muhammad Ali gives the second round to Godinez. All three judges gave that second round to Godinez, but not the last round. Interesting. Okay. I don't think so. I got the same score, but that's not how I saw it. Joel Alvarez versus Elves Brener. This fight was exciting. Did go into the third round. Very fun to watch. Alvarez doing a great job with the forward pressure, sticking to the long tools of the jab and the straight, and Brener is being very conservative and tentative, not throwing a lot out there. Alvarez lands, he's not throwing a lot out there consistently, and then when he does, he's got these big swinging hooks, and he's just not finding the mark, and he's not moving his feet forward. Alvarez lands a hard right hand that he was looking for and attempts a standing guillotine, a hard right hand, and a head kick, then a left and a flying knee to the face from Alvarez. Brener wants takedown, just can't get it. Brener fails on a takedown. Alvarez goes front headlock sequence, going to the Dar, squeezing tight. I don't think the angle was correct. I don't think that the forearm was in the right position, and I think there was a little bit of space left to breathe there. And he obviously didn't lock up the legs to get that real crank on the neck to get the pain finish. So, great round for Alvarez. I don't think you go 10-8. It was only 25-15 striking numbers, but I mean, nobody could make the argument that Brener won that round. So that's the thing is I think we need to move to a more freely 10-8 system. It played a role in the prelims, or should have played a role in the prelims. But it's one of those things where if someone clearly wins a round, it should be a 10-8. Right? If it's clear, there's no argument that you can make that the other person wins the round, it's 10-8. If it's a close round, right, where if you look at it, maybe one guy could have won, maybe the other guy could have won, it's a really close round, that's a 10-9. And then if you have a blowout with a ton of damage and a close finish, that's a 10-7. Like, I think all of those things are valid, and I think that's how it's actually described. The problem is they just don't do it like that. The 10-8, to get a 10-8, you got to fucking kill a guy. You got to kill a guy in there to get a 10-8. To get a 10-7, you got to have, like, a judge who's willing to put that number on the page and then also kill the guy twice. It's like you could kill the guy twice and still only get a 10-8. Like, nobody gives 10-7s. When you see that, it's completely crazy. Anyway, second round here, Brener is moving in place a lot, looking to land a lead left hook, finding it a couple times, but he kept the activity really high, working the takedown, but just keeps failing it. And Brener looks labored in his movements, looking to circle and retreat, and Alvarez just keeps landing consistently. Outlanded him 31-18. He found the mark, walking him down the whole round, 20-18. Last round here, Alvarez looking like he is conserving energy, which is a smart move with the forward pressure. Brener is still throwing, in order to conserve your energy, you'd think like, okay, well, I'll just hold my ground, or I'll slowly move backwards and retreat. But if you're able to put pressure on someone and then not throw strikes and force out the counters, that's a good way to conserve energy, because you can move forward and then you got a ton of space to move backwards if you need to. You're the one applying pressure, so you're actually going to make them more tired by having to move backwards. Huge left hand wobbles Brener bad, and Alvarez tries an ending sequence of knees at the head and ground a pound from the back and gets it done. Great win for him. Overall, oh crap, I didn't say it at the top of this. Oops. But if you watch all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. I appreciate it a lot. No, I was just thinking, this card, you could probably put this one on in the background. It's fine. There's some bigger names on here like Dern, Ferguson, Chiesa, Marlon, Vera, Figueiredo, Sandhagen, and obviously Nurmagomedov. Some big names on here with some implications for the future. So I would throw this on just to keep track of the divisions and how things are shaking out, so you can keep the names of these fighters in the back of your mind as they start to appear on more pay-per-views. But that's about it. So I appreciate y'all for stopping by. It means a lot to me. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Love y'all. Peace.